As we continue applying equations using these four steps to help us work through them, we're going to come to these simple interest problems using the simple interest formula. So make sure you are aware of what this is. The interest earned is equal to the principal, which is the original amount, either borrowed or loaned, times the interest rate times the time. And we're going to use this to work through examples like this one, and we'll talk through that some. So here, Mr. Jameson invested $9,500 in two accounts. Now this means a total of $9,500 in two accounts. Some went in one and some went in the other. He makes $904.50 annual interest. Altogether, that's what that is. How much did he invest in each account if one account pays 9% annual interest and the other pays 10.5% annual interest? So what we have here is we have two accounts, and we have money in each, and each are earning interest. So what we can do here is we can think of, let's let X, we'll just pick X. So let me go back 1 second here. How much did he invest in each account? That's what we want to find. How much he invested in each account. So we're going to put let X equal the amount invested. How much did he invest in each account? So this is what I want to know. Amount invested. And we can just pick one. So invested, we'll pick the first one, invested in the 9%. Actually, let's just put invested at 9%. Sorry, that all looks like one word. So X is the amount invested at 9%. So how much is invested at the 10.5%? So we want to think through that. This happens often, this idea. So invested, the amount invested at 10.5%. And here's how we think through this. We have a total that's invested. X of it is invested in one account. How much is invested in the other? So if we had numbers to this, if we said, well, 1,000 is invested in the first account, how would we find out how much is invested in the second account? Well, we would just take our total and subtract the 1,000. Well, we have X is invested in one, so we're going to take our total, 9,500, subtract what's invested in the first account, and that's what's left over for the second account. So that's a very, very important concept to be able to work with. So what we did there is we came up with our first variable, and then we were able to describe, so step 2, plan another our other variable. And now we're going to set up a table here because he has these two accounts. So we have the 9% account and the 10.5% account. And in this case, we have totals. So we're actually going to make a column where we say total. And we have to be careful about this. So these are both our accounts. This is just like the headers here or not. So we know that principal times rate times time is equal to the interest earned. So I just kind of wrote this backwards. Principal times rate times time equals the interest earned. The principal is the amount invested. So our principal in the 9% account is actually just X. The rate of the 9% account, that should be nice and easy, except make sure you do change it to a percentage. And our time, see a whole lot of times there, but one thing we have to pick out here is that it says annual interest. Annual means yearly, so our time is 1 year. And we know interest is principal times rate times time, so multiply these together. We'll put them in a better order here, but we get 0.09x as our interest earned. 10.5 account, we have this 9,500 minus X is invested in there. It's obviously 10.5%. Make sure we change that to a decimal. So this is, we move the decimal over twice, so 0.105. Same idea with the time. It is yearly or annually, so it's 1 year. And then we can multiply across here, and we have 0.105 times 9,500 minus x. And let's look at our totals here. Well, what's our total principal? Our total principal was the 9,500. We don't necessarily need to use that, but we know that. Total time is still 1 year. Interest, we can't combine those or anything because they're per account, but we do have a total interest earned. He makes $904.50 annual interest, so $904.50 is our total interest. So we made a table. That took a while, but we made a table to help us organize information. Now we want to come up with a relationship and solve an equation. So first we have to come up with that equation. Well, over here in the interest is where we're going to solve our equation. We have the interest earned from our first account, Mr. Jameson's first account. We have our interest earned from our second account, and then we have our total interest. Well, I know these aren't specific numbers, they're expressions, but this is still interest earned. So we have our interest earned from our first account, that's this, plus the interest earned from this one, so 0.105 times 9,500 minus x. So we add those two interest earns together, that's going to give our total, which is the $904.50. Well, what we need to do here is distribute this 10.5%. And so we want to do, so I should say we still have our 0.09 0.09x plus, and we're going to take the 10.5% or the 0.105 times 9,500, and that is 997.5. So multiply that together, minus, so we distribute this, 0.105x equals the 904.50. I'll straighten that out next time. That's not a good way to write that, but I was out of room. Here we have some like terms. This is 0.09 minus 0.105. Well, that's a negative 0.015 plus 997.5. Now I get to rewrite this correctly or better, so $904.50. We are going to go ahead and subtract the 997.5 from both sides. And we get negative 0.015x equals, subtracting here, we get 93, negative 93, because 5 minus 5 is 0, yeah, negative 93. And then we would divide both sides by negative 0.015. And so we can do negative 93 divided by 0.015, negative 0.015, and you get 6,200. So I'm going to squeeze that over here. X equals 6,200. Now we know we have to figure out what does X stand for. X was the amount at 9% interest. So I'm going to put my answer here. I'll put it in red so it stands out a little bit. So we have 6,200 is invested at 9%. And how much is invested here? Well, we do 9,500 minus that. That's pretty easy to subtract. So we have $3,200 invested at the 10.5%. So our answer is there in red. And that's a simple interest, so make sure you know the formula. When you have these, you can fill out a chart, plug in what you know, and the key is to make an equation using these three numbers here. The interest earned from these two accounts will add up to equal the total interest.